Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. In this podcast, I want us to look at the details of Friday night meeting. The section of UDA Mount Kenya MPs in one of the counties believed to be Muran'ga, just a day after the president made some central Kenya appointments to the cabinet. What is at stake, and why is it that the State House push has been declined by several MPs? You need to remember that the appointment of Lee Kinyanjui, Kavogo and Mutahi Kagwe, while it caught other MPs by surprise, it is believed that there is a clique of President Sako from Mount Kenya that got wind of what was going to come from the State House. And now the move to bring Mount Kenya Kikuyu access to the cabinet was a culmination, came after a strong round of complaint from MPs who said that since they impeached the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, it has not been easy for them even to visit their constituencies because of hostility. And of course, it was a political compass that was set to ensure that you pacify the ground and tell the region that Ruto still cares for them. To the surprise of State House mandarins, Mount Kenya MPs met on Friday, and they're raising pertinent issues, questions. So in this podcast, we'll explain the essence of this meeting and some of the concerns raised by these MPs in a full view of what is causing the fallout. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Today is Sunday. We're in the home stretch of this urgent appeal. I want to believe that by the end of Sunday, by Sunday midnight, we should be able to have clicked our target. What we are doing here, this gentleman Charles collapsed at home in places where he stays somewhere in Kayole. He was rushed to the hospital, but was put on oxygen for more than 1 week. The tests confirmed that he had meningitis. This is a condition that can only be managed. And so he was treated there, but the bill ballooned to 290,000. Charles is currently stranded at the hospital, and what he's requesting us, Team Bold, to do is to at least help offset half of that bill. The hospital can agree on to discharge him. And again, he has to be transferred to Kisumu. He'll be transferred to Kisumu. I want to plan that on this Monday, where he only has his only brother available that can take care of him. And that is why I'm requesting us that kindly let's come through. We still have a deficit. The deficit, I think, is going to be huge. Let me just check. Yes. 139,000. So the deficit is around 61,000. So we still have a deficit around 61,000 and we want to push through on this Sunday so that we can be able to help Charles be discharged from hospital and get home. That is the only place he can get support, because in Nairobi, he doesn't have a strong support system. And I want to say thank you for those who are responding to this. I believe by today, we'll be able to reach the target.
Na nilikuwa naomba usaidizi, nisaidiwe. Hospitali hii mahali niko nishatibiwa, kweli wameshanitibu. Sasa pesa imepanda 290. Sasa wanataka kusimamisha matibabu. Sasa naomba kama inawezekana, kama inaweza badilishwa nibadilishwe kwa sababu hakuna matibabu inaendelea. Ndio.
Now, when the president constituted the cabinet, you will realize one thing, that much as it was a high-profile move, he did not go in public. He did not call a press briefing to announce it. All the cabinet changes were actually released to the public, unleashed to the public by the spokesperson Hussein Mohammed. But again, on one thing, there's several questions that MPs raised in that meeting. The meeting was allegedly convened in the residence of one of the MPs in Muran'ga, attended by more than 32 MPs from Mount Kenya, drawn from both who support President Ruto and those who are also believed to be allied to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now, you need to remember one thing, that when, and this is some of the things that MPs are saying, that when the broad-based, not the broad-based, when the cabinet was dissolved and the president was reconstituting the cabinet, he actually consulted the UDA caucus and several MPs on different counties so that they can forward names of those who could be considered for cabinet slots. And that is how Margaret Ndung'u and Andrew Karanja found their way in cabinet. Margaret Ndung'u in ICT and Andrew Karanja was taken to agriculture. Now the two have been dropped, and of course that is something that they are really paying attention to. Now I want you to make some observations here. The day that impeachment, the way that cabinet reshuffle was done, all Mount Kenya MPs and leaders, several of them went quiet, except Kimani Ichung'wah, who was quick to go to Twitter and make this tweet. Congratulations to my brothers, Governor Lee Kinyanjui, Honorable Kabogo and Mutahi Kagwe, on your nomination as cabinet secretaries. We now wait your vetting and approval process, and if successful, we look forward to your service to deliver on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. To Kipchumba Murkomen and Waziri Mvurya, congratulations on reassignment and look forward to working with you in your new dockets. Now that is something that Kimani Ichung'wah shared. Kimani Ichung'wah is the majority leader. Not the Kithure Kindiki, who is the firstborn child of the broad-based, the firstborn baby, the first baby of the broad-based administration, was actually conducted an interview the same evening, a round table with media, and gave that topic a wide berth. Now that tells you the sensitivity of the matter. Now one of the things that really emerged is Kimani Mwangi Kiunjuri, Ndindi Nyoro, Sabina Chege, and other vocal Ruto governors, strong supporters like Waiguru, Susan Kihika, and Cecile Mbarire went silent on these appointments, only leaving the Kalenjin Raila appointment coming out to praise the president for bringing Kikuyu. In fact, we realize that is the Raila axis, and sometime tomorrow I will do an analysis about that reaction. You will really get shocked that Raila axis and strong Ruto's Kalenjin men are the ones that are praising Ruto for appointing fellows from the other side.
It is better for Kenya. What the president has done is better for the country called Kenya, so that we move together as a united country. Central province is covered 90% with roads. Nyanza is covered 20%. So as parliamentarians we have said, and we agree, for the president to make decisions and the minister to make decisions plus Mbadi on 2 to 3 for the roads to be done. As parliament will support those decisions.
The leaders from that side of Mount Kenya are not coming out to appreciate or rather congratulate and speak about it. Now you will realize that is one of the things going on. Even though if you look at Kihika, her county has benefited. Lee Kinyanjui, his strongest opponent in the last general election, is heading to cabinet. That could be some reprieve on her side. Cecile Mbarire is also coming from Embu, and has also been a strong supporter of the president, went silent even though Mount Kenya East is crying that they have been left out. Now you can only see Raila team and a clique of some Kalenjin side praising the president. So what are the MPs saying? I want us to look at their outcry or some of their concerns they're raising. Zero consultations, as others decry betrayal of the UDA agenda in the loud meeting. And immediately the appointments were made, several calls were coming from William Ruto's think tanks. Maybe, and of course, asking them to react, head to their social media pages, or even come out and make statements about arousing the region from, or rather awakening Mount Kenya region that they are back in government. And not any of them came out with that. Instead, even some have been issued summoned letters to appear before party disciplinary for, of course, not taking up strong party positions. Now, some of them say they are even willing to take alternative routes in 2027 and even abstain from the vetting sessions of those in parliament. And things have not been very rosy. You will agree with the decision by MPs to withdraw and decline taking orders of praising that appointment, looking at how the ground is hostile. This is Muran'ga.
President Ruto todo riu nega tirega de wara saguari arathi aretha Uhuru amuheita ngairia makoragwo nacio arasikia kabineti-ini yake ri inyu ni muretekania na horo cio na ndimuria atiriri inyui President Ruto tondu atwirire ati thirikari agathondeka na mahasla na mama mboga William Kabogo ni mama mboga mutahi wa kagwa ni boda boda Ruto ni atuhenirie kana ndatuhenirie ni atugarurukire kana ndatugarurukire riu ndirenda twire President Ruto atiriri riu tiga uguo arathire gwetha Uhuru ona ni athie ethe Kimathi amuriukie ona ni athie ethe Kenyatta uria mukuru amuriukie amuhe wira naona Kimathi wira kana he Kenyatta sisi tumemalizana na yeye kabisa kabisa. Hatutaki mtu wa uongo na tore President Ruto ijue uguo aigatire regatho wa Gachagua na matharau na thoni ijue ona tuheite ciothe cia cabinet tutiracienda.
Now, I want to read for you two more other posts. One is from Betty Maina. Betty Maina is a strong supporter of president, and during Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, she was so vocal, the Muran'ga women rep. And I'm also going to read to you another one from Moses Kuria, reacting to the cabinet appointments, just a day the cabinet appointments were done. Of course, Betty Maina appears to be chiding Rigathi Gachagua, but you'll make judgment of yourself whether that is the objective. This is what she says. The late President Mwai Kibaki built Thika Superhighway. He also introduced dual carriage for Kendall, Sagana Highway that His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta extended all the way to Marwa. Uhuru Kenyatta began the Mau Mau Road, among other very many roads and projects in Mount Kenya region. Both leaders focused on substantive infrastructure that has left significant change in the region. They didn't focus on non-issues like regional unity to an already united region. They didn't focus on threatening leaders for being the kingpins, and their actions should be remembered by generation. That is all we need from our leaders, actions, not stories. Now, that post is addressing two people. On one side, it is addressing Rigathi Gachagua, telling Rigathi Gachagua about the politics of Mount Kenya unity. And of course, that is not something new. That is something that, of course, Betty Maina has been saying. But again, if you read that post critically, she's comparing William Ruto, who is now the current president, to his two previous predecessors. And she seemed to be insinuating. And when you look at that statement, she's talking about the development that both Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta achieved. Now, it goes without saying that you question then, what has Ruto done for the mountain? Now, that is the start of the story. What Betty Maina is saying is the two presidents have achieved this and this. What have you achieved? Or rather, what you are doing may not be in the interest of the region, because the region is looking for development. Now, this is in reaction to those state appointments, and is clearly saying, instead of focusing on how many Kikuyus you are going to bring in government, what should be your principal focus is the infrastructure projects, the huge giant projects that the region can attribute to your name, and clearly talking about legacy. Now, Moses Kuria, that is Moses Kuria also did another tweet. I will want us to look at his. Wacha niongee nitoke. Industrial parks dead, special economic zones dead, export processing zones dead, manufacturing down to 6% of GDP, foreign direct investments lowest in 20 years, exports as 0% of GDP is 10% down from 28%. After trying the big shoes by Rebecca Miano and Salim Vuria, I hope Governor Lee Kenyanjui will make a difference. This Ministry of Trade have seen three. Now, Governor Lee Kenyanjui is the fourth person going to that ministry. And the kind of the kind of discontinuity in that ministry is probably worrying, should really worry the country. So what Moses Kuria is saying, no track record. And of course, he's referring to his ministry because he was the first minister there. He had his own flaws, but the passion he had when working in that ministry is something that you cannot really question. So he's also talking about these changes are coming, but there have never been significant change in that docket. Some of these MPs, in my own understanding, they feel threatened by the old guards who never campaigned for the president. And I think that narrative to me is very petty, that because you never campaigned for the president, so you don't need to be in government. I think it's narrow, it's isolative, and to my end, it is below par. It is neither here. It's not something that the country should even be talking about. However, they orchestrated their own downfall, and they have no reason to regret. The moment they projected themselves as William Ruto's stooges in parliament, that is when they spoiled it. Because now the president understands that these are people that I can tweak the way I want. They're the ones that they failed to deliver for the country, and they exposed how William Ruto micromanaged the government. Now that the politics has failed to fix economy has failed to fix politics, William Ruto is struggling now to fix it. But then I think UDA MPs are also right. Sometimes you don't just take the whole government approach and cumulative damage. They're also right not to go to praise the president about those appointments, because number one, those appointments are not going to help anything in terms of the ground. And the other issue here is, to what end? It's not responsive to what Mount Kenya is saying. What is bringing the fallout to my end is basically these three main issues. The fallout is some of the MPs feel threatened, or rather, the discontinuity in ministries is also disrupting deals. I will analyze about discontinuity sometime. I will analyze about discontinuity. Now, this discontinuity, the fact that this cannot happen, people keep on changing one or the other. Some MPs have strategic proxies in procurement in some areas and eyeing some deals. Those deals, when there is a new minister in place, probably they are disrupted. Not being consulted to me is just a proxy, is a proxy reason, because the president has made several decisions without consulting them, and they're just fearing the backlash, but they are hiding behind a narrative. I was not consulted, because there is no guarantee that they have to be consulted. Uhuru Kenyatta link on these appointments is sending mixed signals to them. I believe, and for me in this podcast, I believe that Ruto stage managed the visit to Ichaweri. The timing, they did the timing, it was all statecraft, and he knew that after Ichaweri, the whole country will talk about me with Uhuru Kenyatta being together. Then in that mood, I will appoint my cabinet. Then on that, people take credit to Uhuru. Now, MPs know that. There are some of them know that. And by then, let me confide to them. I spoke to one of the women reps from Mount Kenya, a very good supporter of this channel. And she the argument, she really supported me. She saw that video and she called me, Kevin, you got it. I saw even some raising it here, that many people did not say it. And she was saying the president went and trapped Uhuru. Uhuru did not even know how that clip was played. Now, I know the MPs could also be singing and saying, they know Uhuru, Ruto, they understand Ruto, the way Ruto operates. They know Ruto made that decision themselves, but then would want to create a godfather, would want to create an image that it is the former president Uhuru Kenyatta who has really influenced it. Now that is making it difficult. So because some of these MPs now, when they come now to oppose, or now when they come to praise it, they will be praising Uhuru Kenyatta, but in real sense, they're being played. The person that have done all this is William Ruto. And if there is a significant input from the president, it cannot be more than 10%. Maybe the president was just asked, just give me one name I want to do reshuffle, then maybe threw in one name. He might have, in fact, if you ask me, he might have just said, pick Kagwe. Then the president picked the rest. But the whole image has to come out that President William Uhuru Kenyatta was fully consulted. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Thank you. I'm coming back with critical analysis about the issue of discontinuity. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Thank you guys. I'm back. Team Bold Network. Asanteni sana. I'm back to Watamu. This is Edison.
Yeah.
And Harrison.
Harrison.
Yes, so I'm just going to give all of them, both of them, to acknowledge the work we have done. They're going to give so much of what we're going to do apart from the house. This was the model of the wheelchair that we are doing. So this has already been brought. This is the first one. So pale wanaweka hizi vitu za kukaa ndio inaekwa. So ya hii iko somewhere there. This is the model wheelchair, the ones that we are designing. So after they're done with this, then another one is going to be brought. But already they have this ones. Now, Harrison, tuambie mambo nyumba imefika aje na umekuwa namna gani?
The house is completed, but still they work hard. They work to make sure they paid the house inside, and then we say thank you for the supporters, for supporting us to make us the house. Nashukuru Mungu sana kwa hii nyumba ambayo mmenisaidia kujenga. Tulikuwa hatuna mahali kwa kulala na kuishi, lakini tunashukuru kwa msaada ambao mmetufanyia. Yani tunashukuru, mmejengwa. Sasa bado mafuta naendelea tu kupaka rangi humo ndani, yani kupaka rangi humo ndani kumalizia hiyo nyumba. Alafu pia tunaomba msaada wa choo, yani choo tuchimbie pia hiyo choo, manake tutashukuru sana kwa huo msaada yani.
So guys, this issue of the choo, there's already a toilet here, but it's a very filthy state, and kwa sababu wao hawezi scroll through, We have already discussed with them. They are going to point out where we can do the chores. So immediately after Christmas, that is the next thing we will come back here to do. Josh is doing the work. Josh, tuambie nyumba umefikisha wapi bana? Umechukua muda sana, but tuambie umefikisha wapi and what is remaining.
Okay, thank you. My name is Joshua. Nimekuwa nikisimama hapa kusimamia hii ujenzi. Nashukuru sana for the support. By now, if you see the outside, we have painted, and now we are going on to accomplish the inside part of the house. And the only thing that the main only thing that is remaining is just to paint the inside. And after
plaster.
Yes, plaster we have finished. Only small finishing we are doing there. And the only thing that is remaining, the main thing is to paint the inside, so that the house can at least shine. So I'm also appreciating so much for your support, and may God bless you for supporting the two brothers who could not afford to have their own house, and now at least they are well relieved. And thank you very much for this organization. I'm so much pleasant and I'm so much comfortable and happy for your support. Thank you very much.
You're going to do cash transfer. Yeah, Edison, yeah, umesema biashara ni ya?
Ya kuuza njugu.
Kuuza njugu. So you're going to support that, kuuza njugu. And yako ni ya?
Yangu ni ya kuuza ice cream. Yes, ice cream.